Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhiraye Nashtapraye Shabadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 7, Text 12. Saha Vai Nivruti Dharmena Savai Nivruti Dharmena Vāsudeva Anukampaya Vāsudeva Anukampaya Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena Tirodhate Shanaihi Iha Tirodhate Shanaiha Savai Nivrutti Dharmena Vāsudevanukampaya Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena Tirodhate Shanairiha. Saha, that, why, also, nivruti, detachment, dharmena, by engagement, Vāsudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, anukampaya, by the mercy of Bhagavad, in relation with the Personality of Godhead, Bhakti Yogena, by linking up, Tirodhate, diminishes, Shanaihi, gradually, Iha, in this existence. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: but that misconception of self-identity can be diminished gradually by the mercy of the Personality of Godhead Vāsudeva through the process of devotional service to the Lord in the mode of detachment. But that misconception of self-identity can be diminished gradually by the mercy of the Personality of Godhead Vāsudeva through the process of devotional service to the Lord in the mode of detachment. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The quivering quality of material existence, which comes from identification with matter or from thinking oneself under the material influence of philosophical speculation to be God, can be eradicated by devotional service to the Lord by the mercy of the Personality of Godhead Vāsudeva. As discussed in the first canto, because the application of devotional service to Lord Vāsudeva invites pure knowledge, It quickly detaches one from the material conception of life and thus revives one's normal condition of spiritual existence, even in this life, and frees one from the material winds which cause one to quiver. Only knowledge in devotional service can elevate one towards the path of liberation. The development of knowledge for the purpose of knowing everything without rendering devotional service is considered fruitless labor, and one cannot get desired result by such labor of love. Lord Vāsudeva is pleased by devotional service only, and thus his mercy is realized by association with pure devotees of the Lord. Pure devotees of the Lord are transcendental to all material desires, including the desire for the results of fruitive activities and philosophical speculations. If one wants to acquire the mercy of the Lord, he has to associate with pure devotees. Such association alone can, by degrees, release one from the quivering elements. Dasanstha Bhaktivedanta Parpoto Madhyanatimirān Rasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Shashunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we understood the quivering quality of material existence in the last class. Maitreya is explaining to Vidura about the shaking quality of this material existence. We understood how the waves of this existence comes into our life, and if we don't have a fixed point, a fixed shelter, then whenever there is some ups and downs in life, we will start shaking. There will be quivering in our lives. So the people in general, the people who don't have this transcendental knowledge, they go through a lot of quivering in their lives. Sometimes they become shaken up by certain incidents in their life. Like last night we are hearing, I think somewhere close by, a lot of wailing of women. I think somebody passed away in their house. They are all crying very piteously, and we are able to hear. So that is the quivering quality of this material existence. An incident happens, the whole family gets shaken up, whole society gets shaken up, or even the whole world can get shaken up. This is the nature of this material existence. So sometimes these waves can be very small apparently, or it could be very big also. So here Maitreya Rishi is giving the solution. Should I be helplessly quiver, shake in my life, or is there any solution to this? What is the fixed point in this life? If everything is shaking around me, I am in a world where things are continuously changing and everything is changing. Is there something fixed in this life, in this existence? That Krishna also explains in Bhagavad Gita. He says, yes, your intelligence and your mind can be sthita, fixed. Now what is that fixed point? Savai nivrutti dharmena Vāsudevanukampaya. Actually, why we are shivering Why we were shaking and quivering? That is because of misconception of self-identity. As soon as we think this self-identity, this is the most dangerous. So as soon as we think I am so and so, it appears to be a very small sentence. I am an Indian, I am this and I am that. It appears to be a very small thing, but that misconception of self-identity will make you shiver and quiver one day. So then what is that? How it can be reduced? Here he is saying it can be diminished gradually by the mercy of the personality of Godhead. First of all, mercy has to come from the Lord. Vāsudeva anukampaya. And then how it can be reduced? Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena, by devotional service. Process of devotional service. Tirodhatte. Slowly it comes down. Shanair means gradually. Gradually, the quivering quality comes down in our lives by the service unto Him. Actually, Vāsudeva anukampaya, the Lord's anukampa, mercy, Krishna's mercy is perceived. How do I perceive Krishna's mercy? Krishna's mercy is perceived. We can easily perceive in the form of Prabhupada. Krishna sends His mercy in the form of a pure devotee. He sends His mercy in the form of Guru. He is the embodiment of all His mercy. So Krishna's mercy, we are chanting every day morning, samsara dhava analalidha loka. So Lord is ocean of mercy, and a spiritual master is like a big cloud who comes and pours the water onto a forest fire. Similarly, a pure devotee comes into our lives and he pacifies the fire which is going on in our lives. Everywhere there is a burning, there is a quivering, shaking. So that will be. So how is the Guru's mercy comes to us? What is Guru's mercy? Spiritual master's mercy is Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena. He gives you service. This is extraordinary mercy. Krishna's mercy comes in the form of a spiritual master, and spiritual master's mercy comes in the form of seva. And that comes by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. How did we get the mercy? We got service, lot of service. So, here Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, the development of knowledge for the purpose of knowing everything without devotional service is considered fruitless labor. Many times in this world what happens is, when they are shaking, when there is a quivering, everybody starts looking for knowledge. Is there something that I can learn so that I can remain steady? This is the world. We want some solution, we want some formula, we want some kind of a hint by which we can come out of that. Naturally, everybody tries. But because they do not have a bona fide spiritual master, his shelter, they don't understand that that's not the process. Somehow figuring out some solution, some piece of knowledge which can settle my life. So that is called jnana, jnane prayasa. There is a lot of prayasa goes in this way, wherein they want to accumulate a little formula by which they can cross over this difficulty, quivering. So what happens when they get into that mood, that how I can transcend this particular issue? Many times what they feel is, he doesn't have sufficient power to handle the difficulty. So he continuously chases. He thinks that if I can become little more powerful by reading some book, by understanding some more secrets, by studying this formula, that formula, if I can become little more powerful, then I can cross over this difficulty, this quivering situation. I can become steady. This is the mood. They want to acquire. They want to become powerful. So in this process of jnana prayasa, what happens? They are chasing, they are wanting to be powerful, having all knowledge, having a lot of power, so that they can transcend these difficulties in life. So that process, figuring out what to do, speculation, acquiring power and knowledge, that ultimately leads to the conclusion that one day he thinks that if I can become God, then yes, looks like that's the solution. I will not have any problems. See, in pursuit of knowledge and power to transcend the difficulties, he will come across one board where one Ananda will declare, you can become God. Some Ananda will come and say, you can become infinite. That's all, he'll become attracted to it. And then he will go through he'll go through a lot of training, how he can think himself. It's only thinking, this becoming God and all that, it's only about thinking. There's a lot of, he does a lot of hike up in his mind. So then, that is called philosophical. So that is a mental speculation. Highest mental speculation is to think that yes, I am God. So this is how, to transcend the quivering quality, he got into this kind of a understanding that yes, I have to become God somehow. Where is that knowledge? Somebody will say, yeah, Vedas are saying, Upanishads are saying that yes, actually you are God, but you have forgotten. You have forgotten that you are God. Once now you understand this knowledge, if you take my package, every day 14,000, 15,000 package, then you will become God in 7 days, 14 days. This is what they'll say. And some people, to transcend the difficulties, what they do is, they start giving rituals, fruitive activities. You do this puja, that puja. This graha is not favorable to you, so you have to pacify the graha. Himself is a big graha. And then he tells us, you have to pacify like that, you have to do like that. Like that, it is impossible to come out of these two thinkings, fruitive mentality and mental speculation. That's why repeatedly you will see these words, jnana karmadi anavrutam. Bhakti means it should be free from this jnana, useless struggling to gain some kind of knowledge in order to transcend the quivering quality of our existence. And then karma. If I do something, I will get benefited. This karma includes yoga, yogic asanas and pranayamas, all those things comes under this. Just by doing some asanas and doing some kind of pranayamas, they think they can transcend everything in their lives. So that's why Prabhupada is saying here, the development of knowledge for the purpose of knowing everything without rendering devotional service is considered fruitless labor. Let us say knowledge is acquired, so much is acquired. This trouble comes, I can do like this, this trouble comes, I can do like this. He has acquired a lot of knowledge. Prabhupada says, if there is no devotional service, it is a fruitless labor. Like Vishwamitra, he figured out how to manage attraction to opposite sex. He has understood. Any woman can come, he will not be agitated. And when he is doing this tapas and meditation, Indra has not sent a earthly beauty, because he has figured out already how to manage earthly beauties. He sent a heavenly beauty, something which he has never seen in his life. That's all. That tingling sounds, that's enough. This sound is different from all the sounds that I heard till now. It's something very attractive, that's all over. So, that's why Prabhupada is saying here, Vāsudeva is pleased by devotional service only. This looks like an ordinary sentence. Vāsudeva is pleased only by devotional service. And how that comes? That comes only by, here Prabhupada is explaining, by association with the pure devotees of the Lord. So, Vāsudeva Anukampaya, his mercy, comes in the form of spiritual master who gives us bhakti yoga. It doesn't matter what service. It doesn't matter whether it is a physical service, mental service, intellectual service. It could be simply Shravanam and Kirtanam. That's also service. Simply somebody chants and hears. He has done service. Very pleased. Vāsudeva is very pleased. Here, last verse also we have discussed. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's this famous verse. Mayar boshe chacho beshe kacho habudubu bhai. He is explaining this material world is like so many ups and downs. Maya is tossing us in her waves, sometimes floating, sometimes sinking in this ocean. Then he gives the solution. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he is saying, Jiva Krishna Das, ye Vishwas, korlito ar dukhonai. A very simple Bengali la. He is saying, now how you can transcend these waves? Very simply, he is saying, if you have the faith that the soul is the eternal servant of Krishna, ye Krishna Das, ye Vishwas. Actually, this is the contemplation. If you want to contemplate on anything in your life, because you are contemplative or meditative in nature, your nature is like that, you contemplate on this one single sentence, that I am an eternal servant of my spiritual master, eternal servant of Krishna. This is one running in your brain, I am an eternal servant. But you have to do practical service also. So why this Maitreya Rishi is confidently saying, Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena Tirodhatte Shaneriha, if somebody just does some service, how the influence of Maya, that is quivering nature, comes down? Because servant means service. That's all. Very simple. If you think I am servant of Krishna, fine. Servant means what? Service. That's all. So if somebody starts doing service, his self-identity changes. He starts thinking, I am a servant of Krishna. Simply by rendering service. That pure knowledge that I am servant of Krishna manifests. That's why it is said, Vāsudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. If you do devotional service to Vāsudeva, then Janayati Ashu, very quickly it generates Jnanam and Vairagyam. So if somebody, simply somebody does some service, let us say morning he goes around, collects some flowers and brings it for Guru Puja. Or somebody say, Haribol, come, we'll shift the table here.
It all looks like very small activities, but actually he is rendering devotional service. One day he gets that feeling, that he gets that knowledge that I am a servant of Vaishnavas, servant of Guru, servant of Krishna. How I am a servant of Vaishnava? Easily, because he is saying, Vaishnava only saying, bring the table here, do this, do that. Something will manifest. Okay, Prabhu is telling, I have to do. Prabhu is telling, I have to. So knowledge manifests. And what kind of a knowledge? If somebody is in knowledge, then what will happen to him? Vairagya should come. Any knowledge which doesn't generate vairagya, it's a useless endeavor, fruitless endeavor. Vairagya has to manifest. That's why, again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he talks about the Vidyara Vilas. He talks about the kind of knowledge that we acquire in this world. He says, Padite padite bharasa bharilo jnane gati habe mani. What he's saying is, reading on and on, because we go on reading, no, our study, so many things we study. Reading on and on, what happened to him? My hopes grew. This is the problem. And I considered material knowledge to be life's true path. What a scientist, what a law, what a this thing, all those things. So, padite padite bharasa bharilo jnane gati habe mani. He started thinking his hopes in this world, that I can handle the quivering quality of this existence. I can manage. Why those people are suffering? Because they don't have big degrees. I have a big degree. I can manage. I have a big job. I can manage. This is how, if the knowledge is giving you confidence and hope in this material existence, that is actually not knowledge. That is ignorance. Knowledge means it should give you vairagya. Oh, this is not my world. I have nothing to achieve in this world. Nothing to achieve in this world. I have no ambitions like that. Then, if somebody comes to that kind of a conclusion, he is in knowledge. Once somebody was asking this question, such big devotees, they have served Srila Prabhupada directly. Like yesterday I was taking some guru related thing. They were directly serving Prabhupada. Initiation was given by Prabhupada. Such stalwart, they were in stalwart positions. How is it that they have not understood very easy concepts? For example, this guru issue is there. Who is the spiritual master of the Hare Krishna movement? Prabhupada. That also people are not able to understand. How is it that they are 40 years, 50 years, so many years in this movement? Prabhupada is explaining that. Somebody may ask this question. Why is it that we have seen so many devotees, even senior devotees with many years of direct physical association with the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada? They have a lot of physical association. They are all seemingly incapable of clearly understanding Krishna conscious philosophy. They are unable to understand. With so many examples of distortion, they will say Guru can fall down, Acharya can fall down. Diminished Guru, bully Guru. What is that? You cannot put your picture, you cannot worship him, you cannot do anything. This is the theory. Why these blatant philosophical deviations, concoctions, misrepresentations? What is the reason? Prabhupada explains in one place. He says, in my books, I have tried to explain clearly this simultaneously one and different philosophy, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, propounded by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, I have given this philosophy to you. Now, but sometimes it happens that this philosophy is given a self-interested interpretation. And Prabhupada concludes, as soon as personal motivation comes, it is not possible for one to understand our Krishna conscious philosophy. As soon as there is a personal motivation comes, not possible to understand the Krishna conscious philosophy. So that's why if the philosophy is not understood, then they cannot give up. There is no vairagya. Although you prove that this is not good, Prabhupada is the acharya, they see so many arguments, but still they cannot give up that position. They still want big cakes, whole attachment to that Vyasa Puja cake. They cannot forego that cake. They cannot forego that feet wash. This is what they are attached to. Why is that? Personal motivation. So very striking to us that we also should be very careful. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Krishna Das e Vishwas. Then his final advice is, Radha Krishna bolo, Sange chalo. Now this is the two instructions. He is saying, chant Radha Krishna, that means chant Hare Krishna, in the association, Sange, in the Sangha of devotees, chalo, you go on. And then he is saying, this is the only request I beg from all of you. He is begging, Acharya is begging. So he says, when I chant the holy name of the Lord, all dangers go away. Sakala Bipad. Sakal Bipad means all dangers. Jakhon O Naam Gai. If I can chant Hare Krishna in the association of Vaishnavas, Sange Chalo, then this quivering quality will subside, all dangers will run away. But we have to give up our personal ambitions, personal motivations. Then we are very safe. And how those ambitions and motivations will go away? Sange chalo. If we are in the association of Vaishnavas, by looking at other Vaishnavas, exemplary behavior of other Vaishnavas, some Vaishnava may set a good example of a good chanting, somebody may be setting a good example of, say, Pujari, or a cook, or a singer, or some whatever. There are so many examples in this Sangha. You take all those nice examples. But some devotee may have some shortcomings also, because everybody, we are all not perfect. There could be some shortcomings. They are not supposed to be emulated. They are not supposed to be followed. You have to see the good example, take that into your life, and then ultimately, of course, you can always see the example of Prabhupada in his life, and that is a perfect example. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions? Prabhupada ki.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణ వాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణ వాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700.